Sweeney. Good morning, Austin, Texas, K-Town, Texas, Pflugerville, Texas, H-Town, and Dallas, or wherever you may be listening. This is the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. It's a throwback Thursday. It's also National Margarita Day. Ding, ling, 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 ling,
Hello.
ling, ling, ling. Turn up when you get an opportunity. But on today's show, we're going to talk about Vic Schaefer and his Texas women as they had a hard-fought victory, 77-72 over the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We talked about it yesterday, Salty. We said that this will be the last time that these two teams possibly play in the near future, and they will have a battle. Ding, ding, ding. They had a battle, and my man Vic Schaefer was not happy about it. The Dallas Cowboys, they talk about being all in. What exactly does that mean for the Dallas Cowboys? We will talk a little bit more about LeBron James, his legacy. I know you probably going to be upset with the conversation, but Larry Legend, that's right, Larry Bird had a conversation about one LeBron James. And at 8:40, set your alarms, we will have Coach David Pierce to talk about his Texas Longhorns baseball team. But before we get into all of that, let me introduce you to the other half of this show. You know her as Shannon B. Sweeney, but she's better known as Salty. Good morning, Salty. How are you?
So good, because as you mentioned, National Margarita Day, one of my favorite days of the year, and there's plenty of specials going on around town. We'll get into one of them in the next segment.
That's right. That's right.
But we want to know where you're going to be going in Austin to have a margarita to celebrate, as you should, as you must. Hardge and I have already responded, so if you want to see those responses, hit up Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and instead of a poll, we just left it open. So tell us where you're going in Austin to get a margarita, or text us 81530. Message Texas followed by your margarita destination, 81530. Texas followed by your margarita destination. Standard message and data rates may apply. Hardge and I will get that instantly, and who knows, maybe Hardge and I will have to go on a margarita tour.
We might have to
later today.
Depending on what everybody tells me, I might have to make that appearance somewhere.
Yeah, if you got the in on some more specials around town, because you know I'm cheap.
Cheap.
I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. I'm frugal because I like nice, and I want it to taste good.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll let you know, because you can see it on my hat if you're looking on all of our social media spots. We'll definitely let you know where we'll be. But Salty, I want to get into this basketball game last night. The Texas women had a hard-fought victory, 77-72. But Vic Schaefer, after the game, and we've been talking about Coach Vic for quite some time now, and he believed after the game last night and during the game that the Texas Tech Red Raiders played their behinds off. He was very complimentary of the team and what they were able to do and how they came. And if you don't remember this, I'm going to refresh you on a little something. A while back, I believe it was Vic Schaefer's first year, they were playing Texas Tech here. And there was an altercation with the clock. And the coach for Texas Tech was not happy with the scorekeeper and the clock. And so she kind of verbalized some things, and Vic went at her and was like, "You don't be talking to my people like that." And it was a very tense moment early in Coach Schaefer's tenure here on the 40 acres. Fast forward to last night. They were very complimentary. They're a hard-fought game. They were outplayed us. This was not our best game. You worked so hard. But after the game, Coach Schaefer let everybody know about how his team let him down last night.
We're lucky. That's all I can tell you. We're lucky to get out of here with a win. There's nothing else to really explain it other than luck.
Vic, you used the word luck a few times in your opening statement. Can you dive deeper into why you think luck played a factor for your team tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we played a team that was tougher than us, played harder than us, attacked better than us tonight. We won the game, but we're lucky we aren't learning the hard lesson tonight with a loss. In my mind, we deserved to lose. We didn't honor the game tonight. We didn't play hard. We were out there playing cool, going half tail. That's not us. That's not my teams. That's not how we practice or prepare. And, it really bothers me. In my mind, we didn't earn the victory tonight.
And he was not letting up at all about that. So much so that one Taylor Jones, who had a really decent game yesterday, backed up the words that Coach Schaefer said.
I think everything that he's said is completely true. And I know that going into practice the next few days, our coaching staff is going to make sure that we do better and hold us accountable.
And my man, Tyler Feldman, who has done a great job over at KView, he was the one who got that audio, and I thought it was so poignant. But there's something that was said at the very end of his statement that I think rings so true in a lot of different things. I'm a parent. I'm passionate about my kids. They're athletic. They're great in school. Both of them straight A students. They achieve at a very high level. But sometimes you always have to wonder, are they going to ever care as much as me and the mom and grandparents and all the family and friends? Do they care just as much as that? And Coach Schaefer had to check himself a little bit too, because he was told the same thing.
We got to take a breath and realize it's never going to mean as much to them as it does to us. I learned that a long time ago. One of my mentors told me that, Vic, you need to stop getting all worked up. It's never going to mean as much to the kids as it does to you as a coach. That doesn't make it any easier, y'all.
It does not, because you want them to succeed. And they've worked so hard to this point, and that's why I believe, by the way, guys, they won the game. So that's a credit to those ladies to be able to overcome a bad basketball game, a bad performance, a disappointing performance.
Yep.
He went on to talk about the fact that maybe they were reading their press clippings and all the admiration that they've been given and the pats on the back. We've all seen it happen before. It does happen. It doesn't make them complacent. It just means they went out and they didn't perform at the level in which you expected them to.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it right. But I would have hated to hear that conversation if they would have lost.
Yeah. And I think, too, you kind of have to take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because all we've heard this season after really great wins is how proud he was of the team.
Yes.
How hard they fought because they're down XYZ and so-and-so's playing injured or whatever the circumstances may be, because there's been a lot of them. So for him to say that at the end and just be like, you know, there are some issues here, right? We did come out and play cool. And when I hear that, I think like, oh, they thought this was the All-Star game. But he realizes this is a win, and we'll get them back to the standard that we know that this team could play at.
Well, also, if you take a step back, and it happens a lot, when you look across and your opponent's record is not in that level, right, of where you want it to be or where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that game, you start to look at where Texas Tech is. They fall to 5-10. So you're looking at this opponent and you're like, we got this. They're not as good. They're not that talented. Well, you still got to go out there and play, because everybody lace it up and they're all Division I athletes. So the competitiveness is definitely going to come out of them. And like Coach Vic Schaefer said, every time you play a team, you're getting their best all the time, especially with your rankings, where you are and how you being talked about nationwide. Yeah, you got to come out and be prepared. And that's anybody, and that's any moment, because you got to play the game, and that's what it's all about. So they won the game 77-72, and now they prepare for another game this weekend. But I guarantee you, those girls are going to be sore today at practice. So they're going to get up and get that work in. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys. They got a new OC. And what position do you think is most important for the Cowboys to go out? Because they said they're all in. We're just getting started right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
On toll 130, the posted speed limit's 85 miles an hour. It's the fastest posted speed limit in the United States of America. I was telling Tom Herman about that one time, and he had never been on it. Mm-hmm. I said, but if you drive at that speed, you have to be careful because of feral hogs. He said, wow, I could just imagine what that'd be like. And I said, well, the stories are the 18-wheeler truckers that if you hit one at that speed, they just explode. He goes, man, that is cool.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
I-35 northbound, right around Williams, we have the right lane blocked with an accident. On I-35, the frontage road. Northbound, right around Park 35 Circle, the roadway reduced to one lane with construction. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Temperatures getting low, but demand remaining high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Cover 3 on Anderson Lane is the perfect venue for your special event. From a relaxed buffet, fancy plated meal, or a custom cocktail reception, Party Planners Denham and Katie will help you host a fabulous party. Reserve your event today. Go to cover-3.com. That's cover-3.com.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
A rock from the darker side. Disturbed live in among it down with the sickness. Take back your life tour. February 29th, Moody Center. New album Divisive available now. With special guest Falling in Reverse and Plush. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Disturbed.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings. You're working really hard and you got a lot of pride. We're all in this together for a long, long ride. You can depend on us, we're tried and we're true. Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Henna Chevrolet has been an Austin original for over 80 years, and we've been treating customers right and saving them some serious money since the beginning. For straightforward, all-inclusive pricing, together, let's drive at HennaChevyAustin.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ. CHOQ. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking Chalk's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day Chalk Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with Chalk's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, Chalk, CHOQ, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Basketball Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade explores the lives and motivations of sports, music, and entertainment icons in his podcast, The Why with Dwayne Wade. In each episode, he delves into the inspiration behind their greatness, reflects on his own career, and goes behind the curtain to get the stories you've never heard.
How did you feel about me in 2006?
Well, there wasn't a lot of love there, I'd say.
We've never had a conversation to this point.
Listen to The Why with Dwayne Wade on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, Central Texas? It's Hardball Hardge, and I've got to share my favorite dealership, Cover Ford in Hutto. They've been rocking the road since 1909. That's 115 years and counting. And it's not just a dealership. It's a family legacy, community-driven, and the Coverts give back. When you choose Cover Ford, you're choosing more than a car. You're choosing a piece of history. Cover Ford, where family, community, and excellence collide. Head on over to coverford.com or swing by 1200 US 79 in Hutto, Texas. Cover Ford in Hutto, where tradition meets the open road. Tell them Hardball sent you.
You're listening to Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
It's the Craig Way Show. If Jerry Jones does care as much about his fans as he says, try to make some moves that might at least appeal to them a little more than a lot of the moves you made. In other words, like a real personnel person, real general manager. Make Will McClay the real general manager.
Voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Let me talk to him. Let me talk to him.
Want to send a message to Hardge and Salty? Text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Now back to the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone.
Hey, we just talked about it. You definitely need to send us a message. You can send us a message by texting the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's right. You go in, you text the word Texas, and then you give us your message to 81530. And the message that we want from you today, where are you going to get your margarita? Because I'm telling you where I'm going. Ding, 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 ding. Cover 3. That's right. This portion of the show today is brought to you by Cover 3. And with it being National Margarita Day, you can be celebrating over at Cover 3 with $5 margaritas. Why not throw in a triple or some Chipotle ranch pickles? That helps. Or get some nachos or whatever you may be doing to enjoy your margarita day. Happy hour, lunch, happy hour, or dinner, all can enjoy with a nice margarita.
Hardge, we may have to meet up at Cover 2.
Yeah, they're a little something.
For a pre-happy hour, happy hour.
It's happy hour all day over at Cover
Over
3.
today, $5
Make sure
margaritas
right.
all day.
That's right. Well, Salty, you were talking about possibly hitting up Matt's El Rancho. I know a lot of people love Matt's. And but, you know, you're a Cover 3 girl. You're the Duchess.
I'm like, you want me to cross the river?
Yeah.
On a weeknight?
That'll be a little rough. Coming up in the next segment, we'll have Eric Henry of Horns 24/7 as he will talk about the Texas Longhorn football team as they made a new hire. On the 40 acres. We'll ask Eric Henry about that. But right now, we want to talk a little bit more about the Dallas Cowboys. Yesterday, I went on a little rant about the disappointing times of the conversations that they are always having about the Dallas Cowboys. And what I mean by that is the Cowboys were the ones that were crying and belly aching about each other. When you're supposed to be rallying to each other, they're going at each other. And DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, and Bart Scott was even talking about the fact of how sensitive he believes that Micah Parsons has truly become. But there's somebody that I believe is one of the best players in the NFL as the tight end position. He's up and coming. I've been a big fan of Jake Ferguson as he started to grow. And each year you're looking at the team and you're saying, all right, what position is the upgrade? What position needs to be upgraded? We've talked about it. The interior of the defensive line has to be upgraded. You also have to look at upgrading your offensive line because of the fact that Tyron Smith is getting older. He's in great shape. I don't know if y'all saw that picture of him in the locker room after one of the games. My man got a six-pack, and he's like 370 pounds on the defensive line, rocked up. Then you got Tyron Smith. You got guys that you're trying to figure out where the replacements are going to be. So to me, it's always been D-line, some O-line, and running back. One position that everybody was worried about was the tight end position. And I got this audio of Jake Ferguson. He may be one of the top tight ends in the league very soon because of his relationship with one Dak Prescott, but also because he wants to be a star in this league.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest one was my body, just, finally having a little time off and getting my body right, eating the right things. And, with that little time, not letting my body go to waste, still, getting the work and that needs to be done. And then ultimately getting ready for the next season.
Well, it worked last season because your snap percentage went up 34%, but your production went up over 3 times in almost every important category. Jake, why was that? What did you do to have all that success in 2023?
I think one of the big focuses I had in the offseason last year was, figuring out and learning to trust our scheme. So when I did get into, the first game of the season, even preseason, I was locked in on our offense and, what we were trying to do on every play. The certain plays that I had that were in our offense to, get me open. And even the ones where, I wasn't the first read, maybe the second or the third read, just knowing, hey, this is an opportunity. This part in the play, I might the ball. This is when I need to be open and taking advantage of it.
What role did conversations with Dak play into that process, Jake?
I think a lot of it became, sort of routine after practice. If we hit something in practice and maybe I don't connect or I don't catch the ball or it hits off my fingers or, I'm a yard too deep, a yard too shallow, getting with him after practice and, just making sure we get it right, hitting those reps, making sure, okay, when we get here on Sunday, it's lights out. We don't even have to think about it. And when you sort of get that chemistry going and not only that on the field, but also just, the brotherhood that you create with your teammates, that's also big. And I think that had a really big play in, our chemistry this season and is going to have a lot to do in the future as well.
It's very true. The chemistry has to be there. The camaraderie, we talk a lot about it in other sports and being around each other all the time. You have to understand who each other vibes off of. What is it that you need to get to that next level? I need to know, like, if I'm going to run a route and that, hey, when in trouble, this is where we go. That is exactly what it is. It's a safety valve. You have to be that person. That's the chemistry that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes has. You heard the interview where he said, I didn't even know Travis what route he was running. I just saw him. Those are the types of moments where I'm in need. I have to have that go-to. He's my go-to. Boom, I knock it down. Same thing happened before when you started to look at what's been going on in the NFL when they start to use their tight ends even more so. That's the important part of it. You start looking across the league and you're seeing that the tight end is a weapon. The tight end is the one that has been able, the athletic tight end. You were talking the other day about Jimmy Graham and him getting into that rowing and starting to do that. Jimmy Graham became the prototypical tight end because of the fact that he wanted to get paid like a wide receiver because of the fact of how many passes he caught and the position and how they stretched him out. So you start looking around and you can go to the tight end. It's very important for the success of all of the teams across the league. Brock Purdy, George Kittle. You look at what Dalton Schultz was able to do with C.J. Stroud this year. They're forming that chemistry. And Dak had the chemistry with Dalton Schultz before. Now, people remember I was like, okay, it's cool, let Dalton Schultz go. Because I believed in Jake Ferguson. And then they got a new tight end. What is it, Schooner or God, what's the dude from Michigan? He was hurt for a little bit, but he's the next one that is on the rise. So you start to look and see how the chemistry is starting to form. But the Cowboys' biggest need for me, again, you obviously know Jake Ferguson's going to be there. He's done the things he needed to do. His relationship with Dak is on point. Now you need to shore up that defensive line. You need to make sure you get yourself a run stopper, somebody that can let those linebackers move from side to side. Byron Murphy's name has continued to pop up on draft boards and talking about possibly being a Dallas Cowboy. I have no problem with that. Matter of fact, sign me up for that twice on Sundays because he is a guy that is going to show up. The only problem I have with that, the only problem that I would have for that is he's going back to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know as well as I do, when you go back home, there's a lot of people, and you're going to have that star on your helmet. But here's the other caveat. He'll be playing with a DeMarvion Overshown, who is going to be back this year, bigger, better, stronger, and more in tune to what is going on. So to me, if you can get a Byron Murphy, if he happens to fall to you at that number because his scouting report is on point, his freshman role, he had 321 snaps, 22. His role got even bigger, 462 snaps. And last year, he had 501 snaps as a Longhorn. That's an amazing stat numbers when you start to sit back and think about how many plays he was actually on the field.
Yeah. And again, didn't Jerry's grandson kind of give him the nudge to draft Overshown?
Yeah. So I'm sure he's got the plug on this too.
He's still connected in that way as well. So hopefully, and I like what you say about, going home and you have that star on your helmet. Important to remember that star on your helmet does not make you a star.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to go in there and put in the work.
If anything, it makes you vulnerable.
Exactly. The best thing about him, though, Byron Murphy, knock on wood, he hadn't had any real major injuries. He's a guy that, like I said, he showed up every single week. Showed up every single day. And that's why he was named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. So just a name to pay attention to. I'm not saying that the Cowboys need to go get him, but I definitely believe that he's somebody that the Cowboys should look at. I know he's undersized for what that position calls for, 6'1", 308. But once you get in the league, they'll definitely put some more weight on you. They'll teach you how to be a pro, and you will learn a lot quickly being around a lot of those guys that have gone through it. So I just love the fact that he's even in the conversation of possibly being a Cowboys. Hey, early second round, maybe a first round, I don't know. But if he's still there, let's take that opportunity to go out there and get him. Salty, you're a Cowboys fan, and you watch a lot of games, and we've had all these numbers. But what do you think the Cowboys need?
An attitude adjustment.
That's
you meant? Oh, okay. I mean, that's secondary, and we get Diggs back, but that
Diggs
secondary just made so many mistakes.
You talking about back end because cornerback Deron Bland led the NFL in interception.
I know, but where was he in the back half of the season? Because that all happened.
Well, they started
so quick.
avoiding him. They were going at Stephon because
Stephon
was being
Mr.
attacked
Gilmore,
too.
I think, needs to be replaced.
But Bland was getting beat some too. I mean, I'm not saying he had a great year to the point of never getting beat.
I wouldn't mind upgrading the running back room. We talked about Tony Pollard because he's not really worth that close to $12 million. franchise tag. They don't really have the money to spend on a franchise tag anyway.
Yeah.
But get a guy who can do something. At least make him a threat that the defense has to pay attention to.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking in free agency. I'm also looking at the draft too. You can get a running back later, and I'm hoping that Jonathan Brooks falls to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I can't have all of my Longhorns playing for the Dallas Cowboys, but I definitely will look at Jonathan Brooks as being somebody that can definitely help this football team because he is that good of a player. And if he can come back from his ACL tear, and from all accounts, he's doing really, really well as of right now. If that can happen and he gets this opportunity to play for the Cowboys, I'm all in on that. It's a great spot for them. It's a great spot for him. But there's also Jonathan Jacobs that is out there. There's Derrick Henry. How much money are you willing to spend? Because of the fact that you said you are all in. And if you do have to go out and get a defensive lineman, if Chris Jones is on the block from the Kansas City Chiefs, you need to go and have that conversation with him as well. See if he can come in and stop the run, because that is exactly the type of big-time player that you need on this Dallas Cowboy defense. There's a lot of people that are up for money too, a lot of free agents that are going to be with the Cowboys. Some are staying, some are going. We're going to be continuing to watch that throughout this entire offseason and leading up to the NFL draft. But coming up next, we have Eric Henry from Horns 24/7. He started his preseason or spring workout roster checking, and he started with the quarterback. So let's talk about it with him right here on the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone. Listen to Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone on the iHeart Radio app.
Oh, you ready? You want to do this?
On your mobile phone, and take us wherever you go.
Let's go.
Like to your kid's soccer game, the PTA meeting, your local sports bar, and the trip to pick up your dry cleaning. Just download the free iHeart Radio app.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be fun.
And search for AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
I-35 northbound, right around Williams, we have the right lane blocked with an accident. On I-35, the frontage road. Northbound, right around Park 35 Circle, the roadway reduced to one lane with construction. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on all your favorite items with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 28-ounce Powerade bottles for just 88 cents each with digital coupon, limit 12. And Yoplait yogurt for just 29 cents each with digital coupon, limit 12.
Are you ready for a brand new car? Is it time to trade in the one that you have and get something new with all the latest and greatest technology? Well, you need to trade in your car and get that new one from Apple Leasing. The number's 346-9977. You can go to their website too. It's appleleasing.com, and know that you're in great hands when you call Apple Leasing. Just call them up. Say, here's about how much I want to spend. This is kind of what I want, and they'll get right back to you. I promise you. They'll give you several options to choose from, and they'll give you an unbiased opinion of what the best vehicle for you is. All in one phone call. 346-9977. That's 346-9977. I've leased cars from Apple Leasing for over 20 years. Could not recommend them any higher than I am right now. Call them. 346-9977, or check them out online. Go to appleleasing.com. Trust me.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I got a reversible jacket at home and I have two of them because I didn't know it was reversible.
All new material.
Bought them at the same time. Tried them both on separately. Went and laid them up there, and I remember they go, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing here, right?"
Nate Bargatze. 2 shows April 21st and new show added April 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets available Friday at Moody Center, ATX.com or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had like a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use. I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Cover 3 on Anderson Lane is the perfect venue for your special event. From a relaxed buffet, fancy plated meal, or a custom cocktail reception, Party Planners Denham and Katie will help you host a fabulous party. Reserve your event today. Go to cover-3.com. That's cover-3.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ, C-H-O-Q. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Did you know that solar energy gives you independence from utilities and helps keep your energy costs down? Why not get a free estimate with locally owned Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can get more information at mydividedsky.com. That's mydividedsky.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
The 5th-ranked UT women's basketball team is home for Texas Tech tonight. Coach Vic Schaefer has been named to the Naismith Women's Coach of the Year watch list. After a 20-3 win over Houston Christian yesterday, the Longhorns baseball team is back in action on Friday hosting Cal Poly. USC quarterback Caleb Williams reportedly is not hiring an agent before the NFL draft. Of course, Williams is projected as the likely number 1 overall pick. I'm Doug Thompson.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Owning a Mercedes-Benz EV isn't just extraordinary, it's extra easy. With full remote access to your vehicle from your phone via the Mercedes Me Connect app, the vehicles are all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. The choice is all yours. Learn more. MBUSA.com/EQ.
Texas basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Back at it on the Hardge Knocks Live. Have your voice heard on the show by using the iHeart Radio app Talkback feature. Now, here's Mike and Shannon.
Welcome back to the Hardge Knocks Live right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. As we do every Thursday about this time, we are joined by Eric Henry. You can follow him on Twitter at EricCHenry_, and he's with Horns 24/7. E, what's happening, my man?
Good morning. Good morning, my brother. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. National Margarita Day, my brother. It's National Margarita Day. So let me ask you, where's your go-to spot downtown if you want a margarita? Because you live downtown.
I do live downtown. And listen, maybe, it's right down the street from me on 5th, but Roosevelt Room is probably my spot for cocktails downtown, regardless of the cocktail, but especially margaritas. Can never go wrong putting up a little Roosevelt Room.
I like that. We're talking to Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. And E, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Texas made a new hire yesterday, bringing back a familiar face, someone who is going to help lock down Dallas, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They're bringing back Chris Gilbert as a special assistant to the head coach. I guess you would call him a GM, assistant GM. I don't even know what his title's going to be.
It's funny you mentioned it that way, Hardge, because the first thing that crossed my mind when we heard the rumblings of this yesterday, and of course was confirmed by the school late yesterday evening, is Steve Sarkisian is talking about being obsessed with winning a national championship. You know the way to do that? Keep surrounding yourself with the best people possible. He's taking no prisoners, regardless of whether it's in influxing his roster with players from the portal or now, in this case, getting the best support staff possible. So you talk about Chris Gilbert, someone who wasn't in an on-field role with North Texas, but as you talked about, had been with the program prior when Steve Sarkisian first arrived in Texas in 2021. And it just goes to show, again, the depth of Sark really want to place every single piece to have all his areas covered in terms of that support staff. And it's going to play a huge role. Again, I mean, he's talked about someone, Steve Sarkisian has talked about wanting to make sure he can recruit Texas and recruit the high schools adequately. Well, you talk about someone, Chris Gilbert, who certainly knows that North Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth area very well. So just another tool in the toolbox for Steve Sarkisian in this program, and just another piece as they get going there for what's going to be his 2024.
Well, Eric, someone else who should be obsessed with winning right now is the Texas men's basketball team and Rodney Terry. They head up to Kansas to take on number 9 Jayhawks on Saturday. Now, because of the expanded Big 12, they have yet to face the Jayhawks yet this season, so this will be their one and only shot. What do you like about this matchup, and what might worry you based on what we've seen out of Texas lately?
Okay, what do I like about this matchup, quite frankly, is this is not a Kansas team, a Bill Self team of, years prior that's just completely unbeatable, right? I mean, Hunter Dickinson, that's the only real size they have there, but this is just kind of seems to be a real mismatch of players on his roster. Of course, they're still a very formidable team, number 9 team in the nation. But again, this is a team that by no means is one that is, they lost to UCF earlier this year. They've been pushed by some of the teams in the bottom of the Big 12. Now for Texas, it feels like, Shannon, we were talking about this all year, right? Can they play up to their potential? And we saw it against West Virginia. Of course, that's the bottom of the Big 12. But if they can get a game similar to what they got against earlier this week, the big thing for me against Kansas State is, yes, you got to be able to make shots. But if they can keep the defensive tenacity, just Dylan Mitchell and Caden Shedrick, if they can at least use their length, Brock Cunningham can be kind of an annoyance. This room, and we know that Texas has played well on the road this year, there's room for them if they can keep it close into the second half to possibly pull up an upset. But even, coming out of that, really, I think the Houston game really showed them, the second Houston game, I should say, Shannon really showed them, if they're not going to come out and at least show some semblance of physicality, intensity, they're going to get run out of the building each night. So if they can carry that mentality into Lawrence, Kansas, then give them a shot and we'll see what happens.
Well, the interesting part about it, we're talking to Eric Henry. You can follow him on Twitter at EricCHenry_, and he writes for Horns 24/7. The interesting part about that is we had the conversation about how they don't show up at home, and now they're starting to play some really good basketball at home, and the biggest test for them now is going on the road. Not only do they play Kansas, but they go to Lubbock and go to Texas Tech. So those are two tough arenas to go and play. So they'll be challenged this week for sure. But I want to go back to football real quick, E. You were talking, you've got this article that is going up where you're doing an inventory on all of the positions as they go. And it's ironic that you start at the quarterback position, obviously with Quinn Ewers being there, Arch Manning. But after that, what are some of the questions that you would like to see answered going into the spring?
Yeah, I mean, first off, if you haven't had a chance to check out that series, it's a free read available on Horns 24/7. Our position inventory series, we're going down position by position. Running backs will be coming up tomorrow. But yeah, with the quarterback position, I mean, you touched on it, right? What a difference a year makes. You go back this time last year on Quinn Ewers, there were questions of, of course, he's having to go into spring fighting for his job. Those questions have been answered. He is the undisputed leader. So you have that. And I think this is a big spring for Arch Manning, because when you're talking about a player and Quinn Ewers was missed time over the past 2 years, the track record has shown that your backup quarterback will have to appear in some snaps. So big spring for Arch Manning. But behind those two guys, it's really interesting. You take a look at Cole Lord, someone who was a preferred walk-on, a 3-star guy who could have gone elsewhere, but of course has lineage in the Longhorn program. His grandfather played for Texas, and he wanted to be a preferred walk-on at Texas. It's going to be a backup about for that number 3 job between him and Trey Owens. Now, from what our sources have told us, Trey Owens, as a true freshman, a true freshman coming in, has done everything you'd expect of a guy who's, getting there early and early in the spring and really getting his first taste of college football. But with that being said, your number 3 quarterback, when you have someone who's like Lord, who's been on the roster for a few years and at least is ingratiated into the system, you have to at least expect that should give them the edge over a true freshman coming in at that number 3 spot. But yeah, overall with the quarterback spot in my mind, I think the biggest thing I'm looking for is just Arch Manning and his progression. If he can really come in this spring and be that guy and kind of build off of what we heard he was doing in fall camp last year, then at least you feel solidified that you've got a solid number 2 if, and you want to knock on wood, it's not a when, Quinn Ewers gets hurt. And I think the biggest thing that I touched on the piece, Hardge, is just the long-term health of the quarterback position on the 40 acres is incredible right now, because you get Quinn Ewers back and you know that Arch Manning seemingly is happy here in Austin being the number 2, and eventually he'll earn his way into getting his shot. And then you've got this position locked down for at least 3 years. And in my mind, this is the most stable you have to feel about this position since the days of Sam Ellinger. So if you've got quarterbacks locked down for at least 3 years, you don't have to worry about bringing in guys from the portal or even recruiting, multiple guys out of high school. Then you can go solidify your program and your team in other areas. And that's only going to help Texas's fortunes for the extended long term of this program.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. And going into the SEC, knowing that you have your starting quarterback, that you have an able backup quarterback. I know Sark, as you said, is real giddy, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. And I said it too yesterday. He's taking no prisoners. Tell everybody where to find you and what you have cooking over there. I know you mentioned the running back position, but let them know what your plans are with that whole inventory.
Absolutely. So like I said, you find that position inventory series. The running backs will be coming up next tomorrow, and we'll go through each position, go through the defense, go through some of the edge guys, and some of our high risers, some guys we believe, could make an impact that, you might not be names that you would expect. Coming up at horns247.com. Find me on Twitter at EricCHenry_. And also, my men's basketball coverage. Won't be heading to Kansas, but I'll be heading to Lubbock next Tuesday, and we'll see where this thing goes through the NCAA tournament.
There he is, my man, Eric C. Henry. Got great stuff. And I can't wait to talk to you next week, because I got some questions about the draft and T'Vondre Sweat. But we'll cover it when we get back. Thanks, bro.
Most definitely. Appreciate you.
All right. There he is, Eric C. Henry. We'll be back right here on the Hardge Knocks Live on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Let's be honest, you won't be hoisting a championship trophy anytime soon.
Hail, hail, Michigan, the champions of college football.
But you could still be a winner. Get over to am1300thezone.com and check out the contest page, where we're always giving away cool prizes, including tickets and games, concerts, and events around Austin. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
I-35 northbound, right around Williams. We have an accident moved over to the right shoulder, adding a few minutes to your commute. 360 northbound at Westlake. The right turn lane blocked with repairs. I'm Ty Ho with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Austin RV Expo at the Austin Convention Center.
Prepare for an unforgettable RV adventure. We proudly present the Austin RV Expo. All local dealers under one roof with the biggest selection of the year. The Austin RV Expo. Now through Sunday. Tickets online at austinrvexpo.com.
Did you know that solar energy gives you independence from utilities and helps keep your energy costs down? Why not get a free estimate with locally owned Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can get more information at mydividedsky.com. That's mydividedsky.com.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
I'm tired of my bank nickel and diming me with fees. There has to be a better option.
Well, Blue Vine's business checking account gets you more for your money.
I'm listening.
With Blue Vine, you get 2% APY, free standard ACH, up to $3 million in FDIC coverage, and no monthly fees.
I wasn't expecting all that.
Expect more with Blue Vine. Business banking beyond expectations. Apply online. Open your Blue Vine business checking account in minutes. Go to bluevine.com/radio. That's bluevine.com/radio.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Looking for the perfect place to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina has you covered. With locations on 360 in Westlake or Quinlan Park Road in Steiner Ranch, both offer the perfect place to pregame or celebrate after the game. We use only the finest, freshest ingredients. Mouth-watering fajitas, fresh seafood, char-grilled oysters, and queso you'll want to eat by the gallon. Happy hour, dinner with family and friends, private events, Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina is the place. Visit vaqueroscafe.com. Tex-Mex done right.
Bring home the bubbly for your beloved. At Specs. Cheers to savings.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 24/7 comedy.
Men don't settle there. We surrender.
Women
we never express the emotions we're actually feeling, right? I'm fine means I'm about to stab you in the neck.
Clips from today's top comedians and the greatest of all time.
Donut hole. If you want a donut, have a donut. Why are you eating the hole?
When you need a laugh, just open the free iHeartRadio app and search comedy.
You can actually change the station.
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
AM 1300 The Zone is KBET Austin. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Join the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, each day from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We're back to the Hardge Knocks Light on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone with Hardge and Salty. Follow the crew on Twitter at Mike Hardball Hardge and at Shannon B. Sweeney.
Great stuff by Eric Henry talking about the Texas Longhorns. Did a good job. Make sure you get over to Horns 24/7 and check out some of his articles. But right now, we need you to get over to AM1300thezone.com for your chance to win. And all you have to do is enter the designated keyword, and you get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Santana and Counting Crows, August the 18th at the Moody Center. And the keyword today, folks, is love. Yesterday it was smooth. Today it's all about that love. That's right. Go over to AM1300 The Zone, enter the keyword love at am1300thezone.com and get your chance to win a pair of tickets. Salty, I wanted to talk a little bit about spring training. Spring training games will start today. That's right. Major League Baseball. We will have games that will be played today. And the spring training starts with the Dodgers taking on the Padres. The Dodgers went out and got Shohei Ohtani. They have Mookie Betts. They have a whole team that is full of talent over there, and they are the World Series favorite at plus 360. The Padres had a lot of players come into San Diego and a lot of players that have now left San Diego. They're making a bunch of changes on the infield. You don't know what Fernando Tatis Jr., what his situation is going to be. He's supposed to be healthy, but he's another one of those guys that have had a bunch of injuries in his past. He also had to deal with a suspension. So this will be the first spring training where he will actually be able to participate and not have to worry about any rules and regulations that are being violated as of now. They can change. They lost Juan Soto, who went to the Yankees, and now they're trying to make their run. They are plus 4,800. Yeah, so if you're going to waste some money, that would be who you would waste it on, because the Padres had the most talent, still couldn't win. They're in the talent, may not win. I just don't see that happening with the San Diego Padres. I know that you are still trying to figure out baseball. You don't believe that it's that time to even talk about it until when? October. Yeah, I understand.
But I do appreciate this, Hardge, because as we know, I'm going to Vegas a few times here coming up, and I got to start paying attention to certain things like that.
Yeah, well, and depending on what you're looking for.
But you tell me don't waste my money on the Padres.
The Padres are not the one that
they're
you
wasting
would
their own
be,
money.
Yeah, that is not the team that you would want to be looking for to help you make any money. The Dodgers are a pretty safe bet if you're going to go out there and put that wager. Last year, the Padres were 82-80. They still have Manny Machado. I already told you about Tatis. So they've got some talent. They got Bogarts over there, but their pitching staff has to be top notch. They do have the Cy Young Award winner in Blake Snell. So they have talent. They just never seem to put it on the field at the same time where they can get an opportunity to play in the postseason. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the Texas Longhorns that are in the draft, and the combine is coming up soon. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
AM 1300 The Zone is KVET Austin. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Okay. Oh, and then you know I loved you. You left me. So I gotta get up there.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Hardge Knocks Life with Mike Hardge and Shannon Sweeney.
Welcome back to the Hardge Knocks Life and hour number 2 of the Hardge Knocks Life right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. I am Mike Harbaugh Hardge. She is Shannon B. Sweeney. In hour 1, we had Eric Henry join us to talk about the Texas Longhorns. He's got an article out breaking down position groups, and he's going to have one every single day. Right now, he has the quarterback position that is being talked about. Tomorrow, he said the running backs will be out there. The Texas women had a hard-fought 77-72 victory over the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and Coach Vic Schaefer was not happy about the win. I would have hated to see what would have happened if that team lost, but they did come up with a victory, and now they move on to the next game and hopefully play a little bit cleaner, because Coach Vic was very adamant about the fact that all our players were out there trying to be cool. Cool don't get you wins, it gets you beat, and it gets your coaches fired. That's what he said during his presser yesterday, and I couldn't agree with him more. We talked a little bit about Major League Baseball as it starts its spring training today. Major League Baseball games will start today, and Apple TV, they're giving out all kinds of stuff right now, Salty. All you got to do is sign up, and you can watch a lot of Major League games, and I believe all spring training games. We'll talk about that throughout the week because
Apple
TV.
Well,
Apple
is that
TV.
the same as how you watch Austin FC games?
Yes.
Or is that separate?
Yes, Austin FC also starts this weekend, and we'll talk about that at the end of the hour. But right now, I want to talk a little bit about the NFL Combine. The Combine and franchise tags. Let's not
Underwear
forget
Olympics.
about that. Yeah, the Underwear Olympics are right around the corner.
We know that gets dangerous sometimes.
February, it can get dangerous. Chris Jones is actually one of the players that was part of that. He was the one that was running, and everybody got to see his happy medium, and that's where he was at. So the NFL Scouting Combine starts in Indianapolis, February 26th through the 4th, and the defensive linemen and linebackers will start everything off on February the 29th. The defensive backs and tight ends, March the 1st. March the 2nd is quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. And the last day of it all will be the offensive linemen. But to me, you start to break down everything that's going to be happening, who's going to be there. We talked about it. The Texas Longhorns are sending 11 players to the Combine. This is making up for all them years that they wasn't sending people there. Now the Longhorns are sending 11 players to Indianapolis for the Combine. And there's a lot of speculation on which Texas Longhorn is going to show out and be the one that's going to be the most impressive. There's a lot of mock drafts that has A.D. Mitchell going in the first round. A lot of them have him going before one X-Man, Xavier Worthy, which is interesting to me because, you know, X-Man with all his speed and all of his yards and consecutive touchdowns as his freshman and sophomore year, you start to look at him and say, okay, what am I missing? Well, I think some of that has to do with the fact of what we saw at the end of 2 seasons ago, not this past season where he had a great year. Numbers were a little bit down, but he showed up in the punt return game. In the return game was where he really made a name for himself. But I'm looking at his speed, and I want to see how fast he truly does run the 40. I also want to see what Jordan Whittington does in this moment, because he's a guy that I still say was underutilized in the reception area. I'm not saying he was underutilized because he was on the field all the time. He was dedicated to his craft. He showed that he's a good blocker. I think he's a kid that can play in the NFL for a very long time, even if it's not at wide receiver. I think he can be one of those special teamers because he does everything.
Mm-hmm.
He can do anything and everything for you. So I think he's going to have a huge opportunity to make a name for himself. I also look at Ryan Watts. He moved the needle over at the East-West Shrine game. He did a good job. And then you also got to look at T'Vondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. Those are the guys that we have been talking about for quite some time. I remember last week we talked to Eric Henry about this. He was talking a little bit about Christian Jones. What is Christian Jones going to be able to do once they get in there and see his size, see his length, and see exactly what his strength is when he goes to these combines? So it's a big challenge for these Longhorns because now you're here. Now you're at that opportunity. This is a job interview. You have to go in there and represent yourself, as I know that you will. But then you also look across and you say, all right, what does this do for Coach Sark? Coach Sark made a move and went and got Chris Gilbert, brought him back to the fold, got him to be the special assistant to the head coach, which is a great position to have because now you're handling all these meetings that Coach Sark may not be able to go to. Because we heard this conversation before about the GM position. The GM position that he brought in, the person that he brought in is somebody that he can go to those meetings where Sark can't make it. So he can bring back the message and see if this is what Sark is into or if this is what he wants to do. There's a lot of things and a lot of time that the coaches need this moment to actually coach their team. I did an interview yesterday with a baseball coach. He had a baseball coach out of Washington State. And that's one of the things that he was talking to me about is you have to be able to spend time with your players to understand what makes them tick. But it's hard when you're running to this meeting and doing your TV interviews, doing your radio and doing your hits and talking to parents. It's just a constant grind in all of these moments. Now, he's earned the money. He's getting a lot of money for this grind, so I'm not going to cry him a river. You know what I'm saying? But I am looking at the fact that, hey, man, this is the job that you have, and he's doing everything he possibly can. And I love the fact that Eric brought up the obsession, him being obsessed to chase this championship. He got a taste of it. He got to be in the playoffs, and he knows he's 1 or 2 plays away from winning that game and getting an opportunity to play in the national championship game.
Yeah, and that's definitely become the theme, I think, for Texas football going into 2024 is obsession. We had one last year that we weren't really allowed to say on the airwaves, but that they love to do the little hashtag for. But I think obsessed and being obsessed of you had a taste.
Yep.
And you want it again. And I think that's the only way to get there is to be obsessed. And our first taste of that as a fandom will be at the Orange and White Spring Game, which yesterday officially announced 1 p.m. April 20th. There just so happens to be an evening baseball game over at the Dish. So, you think that was done on purpose there? So
absolutely.
Make your plans now. I know Hardge will be out there. I'll be out there hosting Bevo Boulevard again. So come out, say hi.
Nice.
We'll see just how obsessed they are with how this team shows up on that day.
Yeah, and this begins the journey. We'll see the new SEC logo, I'm sure. Woo! Because of all of the changes that have happened.
You think it's going to be on the field already?
It's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, what other reason would
they don't want to save that for the grand opening?
No, you got to get that thing going. The grand opening is now. He's obsessed. You got to get your mental into that place to where it's a little bit different for you. So to me, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And actually, Texas baseball will be playing TCU that night. So it'll be a packed house. It'll be a lot of folks out there. And that way we can have those conversations about Texas baseball, Texas football, and, of course, Texas softball, as they probably will have a home game as well. So it's going to be a busy time around the 40 acres. When we come back, we're going to get into this NBA conversation. J.J. Redick took a shot at Doc Rivers. And his son had something to say. But then we also got to talk about Larry Bird giving LeBron James his props. Come on now. We got to talk a little NBA. It's right here on the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Voice your opinion by using the iHeartRadio app talkback feature while listening to Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Your hot and cold takes need to be heard somewhere. If you send a great one, you might just hear yourself on the air.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
I-35 northbound, right around Williams. We have an accident moved over to the right shoulder, adding a few minutes to your commute. 360 northbound at Westlake. The right turn lane blocked with repairs. I'm Ty Hope with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Dive into hibernation mode with a huge deal on deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Shop now and save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and receive a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Plus, get free and fast delivery to your door. Restrictions apply.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible. So Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear. I do make everything about me. Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
That meeting could have been an email.
It's the President's Day sale at Mattress Firm. Save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and get a $300 gift toward pillows and more, all with free and fast delivery. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Well, the big game is come and gone, so now we're going to give our play-by-play with some of the commercials that you're now seeing on a regular basis. And one that stood out for us was the Elf spot with Judge Beauty. I mean, it's Judge Judy, but she's Judge Beauty. I did not know that Meghan Trainor was in there. Paulie pointed that out.
Sure.
Not about that bass, or it's all about that bass. No treble. Is that right? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Judge Judy had some funny lines there. She had, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Beauty fades, but dumb is forever." I can't do a Judge Judy impersonation here. Don't have that voice, that acerbic delivery. Do I have stupid written on my forehead? Emmanuel Acho from Fox Sports has a little cameo in there as well. Overall final verdict, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to see, and Judge Beauty was awesome. The Elf spot, a fun commercial to catch from the big weekend. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
You're working really hard and you got a lot of pride. We're all in this together for a long, long ride. You can depend on us, we're tried and we're true. In a Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
You won't find us rushing you along, trying to upsell you or confuse you with financial lingo. Our number one goal is your 100% satisfaction. For a better experience, together let's drive at HennaChevyAustin.com.
Rock from the darker side. Disturbed live in among it down with the sickness. Take back your life tour, February 29th, Moody Center. New album Divisive, available now. With special guest Falling in Reverse and Plush. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Disturbed.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Mercedes-Benz hasn't just made the electric experience extraordinary, they've made it extra easy too. The latest Mercedes Me Connect app lets you remotely track, locate, lock, unlock, preheat, pre-cool your vehicle. You can even preset your route and check how much battery power is remaining, all from your smartphone. From the inspired EQE sedan to the boundlessly capable EQS SUV, every vehicle in the Mercedes-Benz electric portfolio comes equipped with the latest generation of AI-powered MBUX voice command technology on board. Whatever it is you need, whether it's a faster way to reach your destination, the location of the nearest fast charging station, or the best coffee shop in the area, they have it. All you have to do is say, "Hey, Mercedes." The vehicles are all electric, the feeling all Mercedes. The choice is all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric model today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Longhorns basketball plays here.
Up top on the right side, Cunningham rifles the pass to the baseline to Tyrese Hunter. Hunter back to Cunningham. Clean look at the three. Fires it and drains it. Longhorns. Hunter has it. Lobbing it in for Mitchell, and Dillon slams it down. Longhorns have it in transition. Coming to the right side, pass into Mitchell, a slam dunk, a no-look feed from Max Asmus.
Longhorns basketball plays here. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Welcome back to the Hardge Knocks Life right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. In our next segment, we will be talking to the head coach of the Texas Longhorns baseball team, one David Pierce. And no, coach, there will not be any special guests that will be joining me today to do some interviews. Just Salty and I. Last week we threw him off when Mark Henry was in here and just kind of just do some random stuff out there. It was great stuff, but no, it's just going to be us, coach. But I do want to talk about coaching, a little bit of it anyway. There was a change that was made in Milwaukee. Milwaukee was leading the conference in wins, leading the NBA actually in wins at the time of the change from one Adrian Griffin to one Doc Rivers. And Doc Rivers has been in the league for a long time. Matter of fact, Doc Rivers was at the analyst table being an analyst on all of the basketball games for ESPN and doing some studio work, and got called out of the blue to be able to come and lead this team. I don't know if it was a Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course it was, making these types of decisions, but here we are. We're headed to the second half, almost 2 quarters of the season gone. And now we're trying to get on that home stretch. But now we've come to the conclusion that the Milwaukee Bucks, led by one Doc Rivers, has not been very good. As a matter of fact, since he's taken over, they are 3 3-7 in those 10 games that Doc Rivers has taken over. And the interesting part of this to me, Salty, is the fact that some people are looking at it, and including Doc Rivers. He didn't believe that he deserved to take the job. He even said taking over a team halfway through the year is a very difficult job. Is it really? Because there's a lot of interim coaches that take over jobs. There's a lot of players that get traded during the season that have to go in and fit in with a different team. But right now, as you sit, I want you to listen to this conversation from one JJ Redick, who right now is ruffling so many feathers on the 4-letter network. It is very interesting take from one JJ Redick.
Conference. Side note, real quick, no one's going to react to Doc's audio there. We've been 7 minutes since we showed that audio. Nobody's going to react to Doc's audio.
Do you want me to get it repeat for you?
He's doing repeat it. I can repeat it.
I can repeat it.
I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. There's never accountability.
Never accountability with that guy. Well, there is some sort of accountability. There always is some accountability because you get blamed and you also get some praise. But guess who came to defend Coach Doc Rivers? Not any of his players. His son, Austin Rivers, had something to say.
Former one of his players.
Yeah, very true, but it wasn't originally his. Now, Austin Rivers, I liked him when he was in college. I liked him when he was in high school. He was okay in the NBA compared to what was leading up to this. But he came to Doc's aid a little bit, you think? We'll see.
I mean, first off, I don't feel responsible to take off. He's a grown man. He can do his own thing. But in this regard, I just simply don't agree with it. For someone who's not accountable, he seems to always be held responsible, considering he's the guy that's always fired when things don't go right. He got fired in the bubble for a 3-1 lead versus the Denver Nuggets, which in half his team didn't want to be there. They had players saying that their mind wasn't there. He had guys leave. That happened. Then he gets fired for losing to a team that was favored over him, which was the Celtics last year. It seems like he's always responsible. It's just as strange coming from JJ. And I have some love for JJ. You're my dookie. You know that. You're my bro. I love you. It's just your best years were with the Clippers. I don't think he saved your career. I appreciate you, Pat. But I don't think it – this just seems a little bit weird. They're 3-7. Dame has missed most of those games. Middleton's missed a lot of those games. They haven't even had their full team yet. We'll see what happens. The pressure is there. They do have to perform. But in terms of accountability, like, what are we doing here? Your best years in the NBA were when you played for him in the Clippers. Let's not forget that. I don't know if there's like frustration there or there's tension there between you. I know a lot of times we had to sit you towards the end of the game due to defensive reasons, but you had your best years as a starter there, especially our whole system was drafted around you because you're a shooter. You're not a guy who can put the ball on the floor. You were a strictly shoot guy. You're not like Klay Thompson or Steph who could put the ball on the floor. You were a guy who could catch and shoot, and you did it at a high level. Hell of a career, by the way. Big fan. But your best years were under him. It's just very ironic and kind of weird that you have this energy towards him in terms of him never, ever being accountable, considering he's always been responsible. That would be my response.
He threw so many strays at JJ Redick by trying to say he was cool, but you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. Your best years, but hey, he did, but you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. You're not
playing
like this.
both sides.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But I love you. You're my dookie. You're my dookie. But man, it is an interesting time in the NBA as all of these teams have one ultimate goal, and that's to be the champion of the NBA. But there's going to be some tough times in Milwaukee if they don't turn this thing around. As I've said, they are 3-7 since Doc Rivers has taken over as the head coach. And I just don't believe that Giannis, who now has all this power because he's won the MVPs, he's won a championship, he has all this power, but I don't think he understands how to rule with this power. You went and got a guy in Dame Lillard who does not play any defense. Your team as a whole.
He is a guy. You are correct.
That doesn't play any defense. Yes, he can put up buckets. Yes, he can shoot it.
In the All-Star week.
But he does not play defense. And you traded a guy that worked harder on defense than trying to score where your team didn't have to worry about it. Now, where are you going to get your defense picked up from? You're not. You're going to have to try to outscore everybody. And in an NBA, that's exactly what happens. Everybody just does that. You outscore people. But I want to transition, staying in the NBA, but I want to transition to LeBron James. LeBron James is on the quest, I believe, for 41,000 points in the NBA. That is amazing when you think about it. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He's been around the game for quite some time. And the story has been the entire year of, is this his last year? Is this his farewell? And he was asked about the tour and if this is going to happen. And he's kind of downplayed this. I'm interested in the take of a lot of people, but particularly LeBron, because when people retire, they normally go on this tour. When Big Papi retired in baseball, they were giving him awards. They were giving him boots. They were giving him rocking chairs. They were giving him whiskey. They were giving him tequila. They were giving him stuff at every ballpark that he went to. Miguel Cabrera, another one. Kobe Bryant, when he went around the league, people gave him things. And so LeBron was asked about, are you going to walk away from the game? Is it time for you to go? And are you going to have one of those farewell tours?
Closer to the end of your career than the beginning of your career.
I am. I promise you.
Have you mapped out what that looks like to you in terms of how many more seasons? And then, does it end with the team you're playing for right now?
I have not mapped out how many seasons I have left. I know it's not that many. I also don't know if I will. I was asked this question a couple of days ago. Will you kind of take the farewell tour, or will you kind of just Tim Duncan it? I'm 50-50. I'm going to be honest, because there's times where I feel like I guess I owe it to my fans that's been along this journey with me for 2 decades plus to be able to give them that moment, whereas every city and whatever the case may be, and, they give you your flowers or whatever the case may be, and that seems cool. But the other side of, I've never been that great with accepting praise. It's a weird feeling for me. I never really talked about it much, but it's just a weird feeling for me. So to go in each city, if that's the case, I don't know. I've seen Mike's, I've seen Kobe's, I've seen a lot of guys. I just don't know how I feel. I don't know if I will feel great about it. Maybe the only child in me, maybe, but I don't know. But I am a Laker, and I am happy and been very happy being a Laker the last 6 years, and hopefully it stays that way. But I don't have the answer to how long it is or which uniform I'll be in. Hopefully it is with the Lakers. It's a great organization and so many greats, but we'll see. I don't know how it's going to end, but it's coming.
So, Salty, when we first heard this soundbite, you said what?
I don't remember, but because it's just so ridiculous. I'm sitting here thinking of something else. Of if you don't want that attention, then you don't even talk about it.
Well, he was asked a question.
I know, but you don't talk about it for 2 minutes. You just say, I don't know.
Well, he
haven't decided. Leave it at that.
Yeah, he was sitting there. He was sitting there trying to build it up. The thing that stood out to me was he doesn't like the attention. And it's like, bro,
you've named yourself King James.
Well, he didn't name himself that.
He calls himself
He's
that.
the chosen one. Hey, listen, it's hard to be
Mr.
on
Taco Tuesday doesn't want the attention.
He has been the guy that has worn that crown for real, for a very long time. And he's lived up to it. You don't see any scandals on him off the court. You hadn't heard anything bad. Yes, he complains about a lot of stuff and he whines. And I know my family's in their car right now. They do not like LeBron James. I am a fan of LeBron James.
Did you or did you not get rid of your LeBron James Lakers jersey?
I did, because I was mad at him during that time. That doesn't mean I didn't like him. I just did not want to deal with that jersey.
Listen,
anymore.
I love you. I just don't like you.
I just don't like you right now. But I do want to say this. I like him, and somebody else likes him a lot too. And we need to admire his talent because he's one of a kind.
I tell people, quit whining about LeBron. Enjoy him while he's here. He's unbelievable. I mean, he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever.
And you know, Larry Legend is telling you that.
You don't like a lot of people.
And he does not like a lot of people, but he is telling you what we have been able to witness throughout our time watching LeBron James from start to finish is something that is very, very unique. And again, his longevity in the game tells you everything about him. For a guy that everybody says doesn't have a clutch gene, or he's not this or he's not that, this dude is one of the greatest to ever put on a basketball jersey. And by the way, those who said he wasn't a shoot first guy, he wasn't. And he still has more points in the NBA than anybody in its history. Put some respect on that man's name. But go retire, LeBron. It's about that time, player. It's about that time. You know what else is about that time? Our man, Coach David Pierce, the head baseball coach of the University of Texas baseball team, joins us next right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Dive into hibernation mode with a huge deal on deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Shop now and save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and receive a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Plus, get free and fast delivery to your door. Restrictions apply.
Mike Hardge here, and I want to talk to you about my friends over at Cover 3. Relax and enjoy your event while Cover 3 Catering handles everything from delivery to setup. You can choose from a variety of mouthwatering menus. To order, visit cover-3.com. That's cover-3.com.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
One common misconception about any type of relationship is that it has to be easy to be right. The truth is, the best relationships happen when both people put in the time, love, and commitment to make them great. That might look like scheduling regular calls to keep up with a long-distance friend, improving communication with a partner, adapting to a colleague's working style, or reconciling a difference in values with a parent. But working on your relationships isn't easy, and sometimes you need a little support to navigate the most difficult and challenging parts. And that's where therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime for no charge. There are so many different kinds of relationships in your life. Give them all some love with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/rightchoice today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rightchoice. for 10% off your first month.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we like pretty cars. We like nice cars. We'll pay extra. If you think you've got a good one, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. We'd love to buy it.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 737-257-5327. That's 737-257-5327. 737-257-5327. That's 737-257-5327.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Nate Bargatze, the Be Funny Tour.
I got a reversible jacket at home, and I have 2 of them because I didn't know it was reversible.
All new material.
Bought them at the same time. Tried them both on separately. Went and laid them up there, and I remember they go, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing here, right?"
Nate Bargatze. 2 shows April 21st and new show added April 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets available Friday at Moody Center, ATX.com or Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Outback Presents.
What's up, Central Texas? It's Hardball Hardge, and I've got to share my favorite dealership, Cover Ford in Hutto. They've been rocking the road since 1909. That's 115 years and counting. And it's not just a dealership. It's a family legacy, community-driven, and the Coverts give back. When you choose Cover Ford, you're choosing more than a car. You're choosing a piece of history. Cover Ford, where family, community, and excellence collide. Head on over to coverford.com or swing by 1200 US 79 in Hutto, Texas. Cover Ford in Hutto, where tradition meets the open road. Tell them Hardball sent you.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin area weather calling for mostly cloudy skies for your Thursday morning. Sunshine this afternoon, a high in the mid to upper 80s. Clear tonight, a low of 55. For Friday, sunshine, a high in the upper 70s.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
All the good stuff. Yeah. Camps keeps you on top of pop culture.
Nielsen has revealed the top streaming movies for 2023, and Disney Plus is the clear champ with 5 of the top 10 titles and 3 belonging to Netflix. Moana topped the list for Disney Plus, followed by the platform's Encanto. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, which had windows on both Peacock and Netflix, came in 3rd. Then Disney Plus's Elemental and Minions: The Rise of Gru on Netflix in at 5th. Netflix also took the number 6 spot with Sing 2. 2016's Frozen was the oldest film on the list, taking 7th for Disney Plus, who also took the next spot with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Avatar: The Way of Water, shared by both Max and Disney Plus, was in at number 9, and Netflix's Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, wrapped up the top 10. All right, and that's what's poppin'. I'm Camps on iHeartRadio.
The Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Back at it on the Hardge Knocks Live. Have your voice heard on the show by using the iHeart Radio app Talkback feature. Now, here's Mike and Shannon.
Welcome back to the Hardge Knocks Live right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. This is the time that we would normally have Coach David Pierce, but due to the AT&T nationwide problem of SOS, I've been seeing, I didn't know anything about it. Coach texted me. Salty had mentioned it. She saw it trending. I just saw my man, Greg Swindell, looking at it. He's like, how do I get this off my phone? And he took a screenshot of it. So I guess there's an issue where you cannot receive or make phone calls as of right now. So we will not have David Pierce. He said he will get back to me when he's able to have that conversation. So we might have to do something tomorrow possibly. But we're going to continue the conversation about baseball because this weekend I will be calling baseball at the Dale Diamond. We have the Carbach Round Rock Classic, which features the Kansas Jayhawks, Kentucky Wildcats. We have the Texas State Bobcats and the Washington State Cougars. You can go to roundrockclassic.net to pick up tickets. You've been hearing me talk about it all week long. I will be joined by Chris Mikoski as we will be in the booth at the Dale Diamond. Baseball season is here. Salty, you have not been out to the dish in 20 years, but I know you have been to the Dale Diamond because you've actually thrown out a first pitch there.
Yeah, I still have my first pitch ball in my kitchen junk drawer.
There you go.
Which are right where I'll remember it forever. Hardge, since we don't have Coach Pierce, I do have some baseball stories for you that I found pretty interesting. I was scrolling through TikTok yesterday, as I do.
As you do.
Minded my own business.
Yep.
And up pops spring training with the Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
Hardge, you went through plenty of spring trainings. I just want to know if you have ever, in practicing of tagging, did you ever what did that look like?
Wait, what?
Because the Cincinnati
Practicing
Reds
of tagging,
like
what do you mean?
tagging, like someone sliding into a base and you trying to tag
putting
them.
a place to tag on somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, okay.
The Cincinnati Reds are using a giant stuffed animal tied to a string that someone is pulling across the base as fast as they can.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I guess it's like, you don't practice, like, I guess you're sliding, right? Because that could be
practice your sliding.
Well, how come we're not combining the two?
Because you don't do that in that setting because you want to make sure that everybody is healthy. So during sliding practice, they bring a pad out there and you slide on the pad.
Well, in tagging, we're now using stuffed animals, and
I think it's kind of funny. It
looks like they went to a state fair and won like the bottle cap game. I don't like. I'm kind of like, you're a multi-million-dollar corporation. You can't afford. Like, you were like, oh, what are we gonna use? Hey, my daughter has this giant pig in the hotel room. We can maybe use, just tie it to a string. And
they actually thought this through, and I kind of like it, to be quite honest.
It's just funny to look at.
It's interesting because my first look at it, I was like, what? How are they doing that? I didn't know if it was remote control. I didn't know if it was on a string. I didn't know how it was being done, but it does avoid the injury of trying to get in there, place the tag, and do everything, because you do have to get into that muscle memory of being able to do those types of things. But I do have a story for you, Salty, that you might enjoy. You do, because you brought up about the sliding part of it. Every spring training, which was, to me, the funniest thing ever. My very first spring training, I go in and they're like, hey, we got to go practice sliding. And I'm like, I've been playing baseball all my life. Like, not just me, but I'm talking about for everybody. So my inner mind is like, do people really not know how to slide at this point in their lives? You're paying us to be here and we don't know how to slide. So you go out and then you really realize a lot of people don't know how to slide feet first. Most people can go in and dive and go head first, But there's a lot of people that do not know how to slide feet first.
Soccer players do.
So you figure that out immediately that, okay, this dude, if there's a play, he might be injured for the rest of the year. He might be injured for the rest of the year. So, yes, I do understand the process of all of this. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, keeping it with the baseball theme, we know Netflix is following around the Boston Red Sox this year for a documentary. There'll also be one done about their championship run and that whole team. But Netflix, they're sticking with it. They've gotten really into sports, and apparently right now, because of the baseball season, they are going all in. Hardge, you were drafted to the Montreal Expos, and in 2004, the Expos left Montreal. They left Canada. There were a lot of disputes going on, and they ultimately became what are now the Washington Nationals.
Yep.
There is going to be now a documentary about that exit and about the drama.
I can't wait.
Are you going to be part of it?
I don't
waiting
know
for a
if
phone call
I don't know
for
if
an
I'll be
interview?
a part of it because it was 2004. I was already gone from the
Right,
Montreal
but maybe
Expos.
you could be one of the I saw it coming.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. They're still trying to get a team back in Montreal. So this could help this come true again because they are trying to get a team in Montreal. If I'm the Oakland A's, I'm looking at Montreal. I'm looking at trying to go to Canada again because they love their baseball up there. Look at what the Toronto Blue Jays do. They just put cup holders on the back of seats. Montreal, build a stadium, they'll bring another team there. So, yes, I'm excited for this documentary. Cam Parker was reading a book about Montreal Expos not too long ago, and he texted me, he was like, Hardge, you're in this book. Like, did you know you were in this book? And I was like, no, I didn't know, but I'm in a couple books because of the history of the Montreal Expos. But yeah, I'm excited about this Netflix.
You should get you some Netflix money.
Well,
Netflix, apparently since 2017, they've got this partnership with Canada, and they've spent $3 billion since 2017 doing TV series and docs in Toronto and Vancouver. So they got the money to give you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's going to give it to me, but I know a lot of people that are going to get paid from
I'm
this.
realizing now your cover 3 hat today is very Expo-esque.
It is kind of Expo-esque.
So
you can see it on TV.
I think you should have your people reach out to their people if their people have not reached out to your people quite yet.
My people have left me a long time ago.
Finally, Hardge, I got to ask, am I Karen?
You're pretty close to one.
I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
But I'm like a cool Karen.
That's still to be up for debate.
There's this house in my parents' neighborhood who they still have out
Not even your neighborhood. It's your parents' neighborhood.
But I'm there a lot, and you know this. They have a 12-foot skeleton it's still out there.
Yeah.
And during Christmas, it had presents around it, and Valentine's Day, I was holding on to red balloons.
Okay.
And I took a video yesterday, and I was like, it's February, almost March.
Maybe it's for something else.
People on YouTube,
you don't know what it's for.
People on YouTube said they called me out. So why do you care? What do you have to do? I said they're lowering property value. They're making us look tacky.
Are they?
It's tacky.
Are they lowering the property value?
If that was in my neighborhood,
Karen.
they would have all those fines because the HOA says you got to have decorations down no later than a week after the holiday.
Okay, so your parents' neighborhood, what are their HOA?
They don't have one because it's an old neighborhood, but we
you.
got neighbors and people that think it's tacky, and I agree.
So by the way, once again, folks, she does not live there.
But
you do not live there. So when you are driving through people's neighborhoods, let's just say you're just driving through a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, you know what? I need to go over there and tell them that they need to take
other
down.
People don't have 12-foot skeletons sitting out on their front lawn for everyone to see in February.
To answer your question, 100% you are a Karen.
Whatever.
You are 100%.
I'm like a cool Karen.
Yeah, in your mind.
I'm like a cool Karen because the stuff I care about is the stuff I think everybody should care about.
What did the people on your TikTok say?
Well, this was on my YouTube.
Okay.
They said, you're not fun. I think it's great. Skeleton season is always in season. I'm like, no.
Answered your own question by your views.
You'd be annoyed if your neighbor had one of those up.
Well, I know my neighbors. I would have been able to go over to
We
him
know
and
our
ask
neighbors
him
too.
the
That's
question
the annoying part.
and be like, say, man, what we doing here? What we doing here? Oh, it's keeping the villains away. Okay, it's like a scarecrow. Okay, cool.
Speaking of scarecrows, we also have a neighbor who's left their scarecrow out for 4 years on their front door, which they use their front door. It's not like they never use their front door. And it's just there. This scarecrow has now dropped it so low on this pole. I mean, it looks like I guess its knees are broken, can't get back up. But 4-year scarecrow.
Come on, man.
Across the street from 12-foot skeleton.
Did all the is there
We're turning into Halloween Town over there. And I don't like it.
Well, that's what happens. You got to make less visits over there, Salty. That where
But
it
there's
is.
free food and running water because yesterday I had to go over there and use the bathroom because the water never came back on over here. Which
There
is when I
she
took the
goes.
video.
There's Salty letting us know she is truly a Karen. And I believe it now.
I'm salty, not a
Yeah. Salty Karen.
No.
Take it over.
It's not my middle name.
When we come back, we're going to close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick. Hey, MLS, Austin FC, it's your time. We'll talk about it right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Longhorns basketball plays here.
Tyrese Hunter operates the dribble on the right side, and he'll lob it in to Keaton Shedrick for a slam dunk. Hunter drives in and slams it down. Missed that off the sidearm. Brock Cunningham hustles for the offensive rebound. Brock holds it down to a cutting Asmus who races in to score off the glass. Into the front court, Asmus to the right side. He wants a third three. Why not?
Longhorns basketball plays here. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
290 right at West William Cannon. We have an accident with some minor brake taps. I-35 northbound at Williams. A collision beginning to clear that roadway back up and moving. I'm Ty Ho with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save on all your favorite items with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get 28-ounce Powerade bottles for just 88 cents each with digital coupon, limit 12. And Yoplait yogurt for just 29 cents each with digital coupon, limit 12.
Did you know that solar energy gives you independence from utilities and helps keep your energy costs down? Why not get a free estimate with locally owned Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can get more information at mydividedsky.com. That's mydividedsky.com.
You're working really hard and you got a lot of pride. We're all in this together for a long, long ride. You can depend on us, we're tried and we're true. Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Henna Chevrolet has been an Austin original for over 80 years, and we've been treating customers right and saving them some serious money since the beginning. For straightforward, all-inclusive pricing, together, let's drive at HennaChevyAustin.com.
Well, the big game has come and gone, so now we're going to give our play-by-play with some of the commercials that you're now seeing on a regular basis. And one that stood out for us was the Elf spot with Judge Beauty. I mean, it's Judge Judy, but she's Judge Beauty. I did not know that Meghan Trainor was in there. Paulie pointed that out.
Sure.
Not about that bass, or it's all about that bass. No treble. Is that right? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Judge Judy had some funny lines there. She had, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Beauty fades, but dumb is forever." I can't do a Judge Judy impersonation here. Don't have that voice, that acerbic delivery. Do I have stupid written on my forehead? Emmanuel Acho from Fox Sports has a little cameo in there as well. Overall final verdict, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to see, and Judge Beauty was awesome. The Elf spot, a fun commercial to catch from the big weekend. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Well, the big game is come and gone, so now we're going to give our play-by-play with some of the commercials that you're now seeing on a regular basis. And one that stood out for us was the Elf spot with Judge Beauty. I mean, it's Judge Judy, but she's Judge Beauty. I did not know that Meghan Trainor was in there. Paulie pointed that out.
Sure.
Not about that bass, or it's all about that bass. No treble. Is that right? I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Judge Judy had some funny lines there. She had, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Beauty fades, but dumb is forever." I can't do a Judge Judy impersonation here. Don't have that voice, that acerbic delivery. "Do I have stupid written on my forehead?" Emmanuel Acho from Fox Sports has a little cameo in there as well. Overall final verdict, it was a lot of fun. It was fun to see, and Judge Beauty was awesome. The Elf spot, a fun commercial to catch from the big weekend. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
Mike Hardge here, and I want to talk to you about my friends over at Cover 3. Relax and enjoy your event while Cover 3 Catering handles everything from delivery to setup. You can choose from a variety of mouthwatering menus. To order, visit cover-3.com. That's cover-3.com.
Get ready for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest. March 11th, we'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year, and you'll help decide who wins Podcast of the Year. Vote now at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance is the presenting partner of the 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, live at South by Southwest. To learn more or start a quote, visit thehartford.com/smallbusiness. With insurance designed for your small business, the Bucks got your back.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show. Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
We're back to the Hardge Knocks Live on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone with Hardge and Salty. Follow the crew on Twitter at Mike Hardball Hardge and at Shannon B. Sweeney.
Another great show today, right here on the Hardge Knocks Live Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We talked a lot about the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Longhorns, Coach Vic Schaefer. Not happy with the victory, but happy with the victory because it could have went another direction. We were supposed to have David Pierce, but with this national outage that Salty hit me to, and Coach David Pierce let me know about as well, there's an outage where they can't accept phone calls right now, and people are dealing with an SOS. I had that on my phone a while back, and I did not know what it was, so I just turned my phone off and then turned it back on to see if it would go away.
Sound like an engineer. Have you tried restarting?
So I just did that. That's the simplest way that I was able to go through it. But, yeah, that's kind of how it went down. So now let's see what happens. But moving forward, Texas baseball will be taking on Cal Poly tomorrow. Hopefully we can get a chance to talk to David Pierce at some point once his phone gets back working. But they will take on Cal Poly in a 3-game set. I will be at the Dell Diamond starting tomorrow afternoon, 2:00, calling the Carbach Round Rock Classic. If you need tickets, go to roundrockclassic.net to get some. But Salty, MLS, Austin FC, they start their season this weekend as they travel to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota United. Is this a do or die year for one Jason Wolf? Not Jason Wolf, Josh Wolf. Jason Wolf is a former teammate of mine with the Cardinals. But you sit and you look at this team and you've seen the ups and downs. You saw that year where it was unbelievable. It was so much excitement. Everybody was excited. But now you had that lull in the season, and now everybody's trying to figure out. Right now, the favorite is Inter Miami. They are plus 275 with Lionel Messi.
And the Luis, they got
the brand
superstars
new
over there.
And LAFC is plus 780, but the Austin FC is plus 5,000 to win the championship of soccer. To me, I think it is one of those situations because there's always, as being the head coach, you got to get a lot of criticism. You're going to no matter what. But I believe that he has to win, and he has to win often.
It's going to be interesting because new upper management came in last year, right? And they've gotten rid of people who were OGs of Austin FC, people that, were high scorers, and they brought in a lot of new folks. So it depends how much leeway they give him now with this kind of rebuilding period they're having.
Well, I don't even know if it's going to be considered a rebuilding period anymore. It's got to be, they're packing everything up and packing the Austin FC stadium. So you got to make Q2 is always busy. We're going to be busy too. Tomorrow, it's game day. That's right. Texas baseball, Cal Poly. We'll be talking about all of it. But as always, just remember this. Don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
AM 1300 The Zone is KVET Austin. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free, never